Hello and welcome to day 12. Today we are talking about making an entrance. Let's do a little experiment. Say this is a job interview or even just a live stream and you're checking it out and thinking, should I trust this person? Watch how I enter the room. Entrance number one. That's usually how I enter my home when I get back and I walk in the front door after a long day at work. Okay, let's try something else. Entrance number two. That's how I enter my kids' bedroom when it's messy and I asked them to clean it up 10 minutes ago and they still haven't even started picking up their room. Okay, entrance number three. That's okay, I'm just doing a live stream real quick. Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you. All right, entrance number three is I'm walking into a board meeting and I need to project confidence and assuredness and humility and openness all at the same time. So, first of all, why do we do this? So, making an entrance is part of the Way of Embodiment curriculum because it brings this curriculum into the present moment, into how do I apply this to my life? All of us have to make an entrance one way or another. And some of those entrances are really important. For example, if you are a school teacher, the way you enter a classroom can set the tone for the whole day. And I can say this because I also used to be a school teacher. I taught middle school French, and if you don't walk in that room with absolute confidence, those kids will eat you alive. I mean, it's tough. So that's one situation. Another scenario could be you're meeting your in-laws for the first time. How do you want to project yourself? How do you want to be perceived and received? And also, how is this not projecting a false caricature of yourself, but really bringing forth the authenticity of who you truly are? And that's the gift of today's exercise. So I have a 5-step process on how to make an entrance, and we're going to practice this a little bit. First of all, the first step actually is to practice, just to get yourself comfortable with stepping into new situations. If you are stepping into a courtroom, you will comport yourself in a certain way that is different from if you're stepping into a classroom or a board meeting or an interview, or if you're stepping up to the microphone at a protest rally. You need to be fully embodied and practiced at stepping onto the stage. Some interesting research about making an entrance from Psychology Today. They did a study and had people watch the entrances of professional musicians, specifically violinists, who walked out onto a stage in a concert hall, and they had people just write down their first impressions, not even listening to the concert or even a single note of the music, but just based on how the performer entered the stage. Would you listen to the music? Would you expect that it would be a good concert? Would you stay to the end? Would you not want the show to finish? Would you applaud for an encore? Believe it or not, most of the responses that came out of this study demonstrated how important first impressions are and how it sets up the whole presentation, the whole performance, the whole curriculum, whatever it is that you need to convey that is so precious and so important, your message that you are bringing to the world, the way that you enter the space sets it all up. And good news, it has nothing to do with how you look or how you dress. Even if you're a dreadlocked Buddhist hippie like I am, I'm not changing my hair for a board meeting or a job interview, but I know how to enter a space in a way that puts people at ease and also builds confidence. And the first reason for that is that I've practiced. So get a mirror or a reflective surface somewhere if you've got like a picture window or something that you can kind of see your reflection in. And literally practice just walking in and out of the space. You can play like I did with different scenarios. So exaggerate it a little bit. This is also kind of an acting exercise. Exaggerate how do you walk into your home when you come home after a long day at work. So just play with that. You're tired, your body is slumped over, your eyelids are drooping, like maybe you can't even focus on like where's the coat rack to hang up my coat, and oh, I forgot to take off my shoes. But embody that in kind of an exaggerated way. Play with another scenario. You are walking in and you are really upset. How do you just naturally enter a space when you're carrying that angry or impatient or I've been waiting an hour for this appointment, and then your receptionist told me that I had the last place in line and I've been waiting here all day and it's already 5 o'clock and you're telling me that it's closed. So take on that energy. Maybe you get a little bit tense. Maybe you cock your head to one side or the other. Your shoulders kind of get up a little bit. Your breath gets shallower. And you're certainly not smiling. You've got a kind of a scowl on your face. You know, you can enter the space with that kind of energy. The important thing is to notice that you're doing it, because then you have the power to change it. So, third scenario, like I just did, and you could probably also tell by how I'm dressed that I've been in meetings all day and this is the boardroom. So I figured, what a perfect day to talk about making an entrance when I can make an entrance into the boardroom in my nice office clothes and comport myself with ease. So I'm relaxed, my shoulders are relaxed, my chin is tilted down a little bit, with confidence. So I'm also not slumped over. I'm sitting or standing very nice, tall. My heart center is open and my eyes are open. And so if this room was full of people, and especially if it was my board of directors or my volunteers, or if I'm interviewing somebody, I would absolutely come directly to them. I would shake their hand and make eye contact. Super important, but just practice. So that's step number one. Step number two is actually what we do before we make the entrance. And this is where you get in your body. Get out of your head, because you've already got a lot of thoughts going on about what you're going to say and how you're going to say it and who you need to get this point across to. Get out of your head and into your body. And this is where you have 30 seconds to get embodied instead of 5 minutes, which is back to why we practice, practice, practice. And also why I'm giving you every embodiment tool that I can come up with, that I've used, that I've learned successfully over the years to try out and try on, like literally trying this in and on your body See what resonates, see what feels really like, oh, this is how I can drop in to my body fully. And once you've practiced that, you can come up with the 5-minute version, and then the 2-minute version, and the 30-second version. So, for example, one thing that I do to get into my body before I go into a board meeting, or before I go to visit with a client, for example, is a mudra. And we talked about mudras just a few days ago, your safety mudra, your embodiment mudra. This is a very powerful way to instantly connect the energy in your body, and connecting that with an intent and an energy that you've practiced and rehearsed. So this mudra, I bring my hands together at my heart. I have time for one big deep breath. And at the same time, I'm imagining the ball of light in my heart center that's expanding out into space, encircling and protecting my whole body. And then I can step in and engage. So go back and review the mudra video if you haven't already. And make sure that you have something, some way that you can signal to your body and your mind that you are safe and that you are embodied and confidently ready to step into the next thing, whatever that is. And something really simple that you can do in the bathroom before you step out and you're confronted with hundreds of people, or in the car before you get out of the car and walk up to the door, your client's house or wherever you're going. It can be your hands together, it can be your hands on your body, on your head, maybe covering your eyes. Oh, that feels good. I like that one. It can be a meditation mudra also. So, step 2, get in your body. Step 3, know what you want. So this is something that does come from your head. You do have to think about it, and then find a way to put that in your body. So when I am going to stand in front of a classroom full of 20 10-year-olds, for example, if you're a school teacher, you relate. There could be some panic there, right? But if you know exactly what you want, and my motivation, my goal here is I want to get this lesson across in a way that's engaging and accurate. Today we're conjugating a verb. It's something really simple. I want to keep their attention. I want to entertain. I want to convince somebody of the validity of my point. But give it some language. Have some really specific language around what you want, and have absolute certainty that that is what you want and that you will get what you want. So you have to also already carry that confidence. I know exactly what I want and exactly why I'm here. So what does that look like in your body, knowing what you want? Maybe it looks like your shoulders are balanced. Maybe it looks like your hands are folded evenly. Maybe it looks like your breath is very even. Your breathing is very deep and even as you're listening and then taking it in and then sharing your point of view or your perspective. Maybe it also looks like a neutral but open expression on your face. So there's no need to overplay it in real life, but for the sake of practice, you can put that mask on. And so you can also see how these lessons are building one on the other. So also a couple days ago, we did mask play. And if you haven't seen that one, definitely go back and check it out. Try it just for fun. But here we are putting on a mask, and it's the mask of confidence, the mask of open interest, the mask of truth also. Because when you show up with your truth, with the truth of the reason that you're there, knowing that fully, it gets a lot easier for sure. So know what you want and hold that in your body. Own it. It is yours. Number 4, and this could be a relief to most of you. It certainly is a relief to me. It's not about you. Just take that in for a second. It's not about if you forgot to brush your teeth this morning. It's not about your fuzzy hair that people are commenting on. It's not about your accent. It's not about, your shoes. It's not about you at all. It's about the dynamic thing that is happening between you and other people. So, as a fully embodied individual, you are now empowered. I want you to feel empowered to step into the world with the fullness and authenticity of your being, to do wonderful things. Instead of, you can feel, for example, when someone steps into a meeting or, comes on stage and they have this aura of self-importance. That's basically what it is. They really feel like it's all about them. The pressure is off because it's not about you, it's about what you came here to do together. And that's definitely a very effective strategy for fostering relationships, building collaboration. Going back to the example of meeting your in-laws, goodness, don't spend so much time talking about yourself. Make sure you ask more questions about what they're interested in than what you had for breakfast. And the reason for doing that is not because you're not so important. It's about getting out of your own way to accomplish a common goal. So I hope that one makes sense. And if you want some more elaboration about that, I have an earlier video from like a couple years ago about that specific topic. But definitely drop your questions in the comments below and let me know what comes up for you around number 4. It's not about you. It's about the context, the time, the place, and the people. And the other point I want to make about part 4 is that, act appropriately according to the time, the place, and the people. If you're giving a speech or a blessing at a funeral, you're going to make a very different entrance than you would if you are going on stage to give a TED Talk or stepping up to the microphone at a protest rally. Very different energies and all very fully appropriate contexts for the fullness of your authentic presence and expression, the gift that you have to bring to that moment in that context. And the last thing I'll say about number 4 is that it's your compassionate heart that is bringing you to the table in that way. So when I come in for a board meeting, I'm not usually wearing blue jeans and a t-shirt. I like to show my board of directors some respect. On time, I like to speak courteously, those kinds of things. And then likewise, if I'm showing up to perform at a funeral, for example, you can still hold the space and make an entrance, but the energy there, the intent is very different. And in that kind of a context, it's fully compassionate love and giving and grieving and holding space with people, all of those beautiful things. But think about all this stuff beforehand so that you're not caught off guard. And finally, step number 5, how to make an entrance. Now that you've practiced and you are embodied, you know what you want and you know the context and that it's not about you, is confidence. So you have all those things, all those tools under your belt. You own your gifts. You are confident in the message and the purpose for the context that you're stepping into. And embodiment is 100% where that confidence comes from. It's not up here. Confidence is one thing that you can't fake because it's in your body. And that's something that you've practiced through these embodiment exercises. And maybe also something that you've sat with. If confidence is something that you struggle with, I encourage you to sit with it and journal about it, talk with your therapist about it, move your body with it. Consider where in your body does that lack of confidence sit? Is it a tightness in your stomach? Is it like a pinching in your heart or your lungs? Do you get a crick in your neck? This kind of, you can tell by somebody's body language, right? Physically, how do they change physically when they're confident or not confident? So I hope this has helped you today. This is a really fun one, just to go through those 5 steps and watch and rewatch the video, get a mirror, play with making entrances, and above all, be kind and also stay humble. Stay kind, stay humble, stay authentic. And that's really what we're getting at with all of the way of embodiment with this full curriculum, is really tapping into your authentic presence, which is the greatest gift that this world needs now more than ever. Thank you for joining me today for day 12, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.